So there are too many different ways to clarify people in their lives. Some of them are engineers just trying to get a task done, trying to get the instrument to do the dance. That's all they were interested in. And other people are doing it for psychological purposes.
But they aren't two completely separate types because after all, if you were what have called an engineer, an AL engineer, and you're trying to get something to translate or interpret protocols, whatever it is, how are you going to do it? When your first ideas usually are going to come from your intuitions, which may or may not be right of course, but your intuitions about how you think people do it, or accurately probably how you think you do it. So in fact, a lot of the people who do AL for these purely technological purposes are actually riding on the back of psychological theories. But the point is, they don't care if they sort of fall off the back of that horse, as long as they keep tracking.
Leading time is the amount of time that elapses between a business placing an order with a supplier for more stock or raw materials, and the delivery of the goods to the business. Businesses want the lead time to be as short as possible, so that they can meet their customer orders and minimize the time between paying for the stock and receiving the revenue from the customers. However, this may not happen due to a number of factors, such as delays in the supplier receiving the order, or the breakdown of the supplier's lorries delivering the stock to the business.
When one thinks about the great distances between the stars, between one galaxy and another, between one cluster of galaxies and another, it prompts the question, how big is the universe? Here we have to make a distinction between the universe and the observable universe. We see stars by the light that they send us. It takes time for the light to get here. Light is fast. It travels at 300,000 kilometers per second. But the distances involved are immense. It takes 4 years for light to reach us from even the nearest star. As for crossing from one side of a galaxy like our Milky Way galaxy to the other, that takes 100,000 years. Well, 3D printing started in the 1980s. At that time it used to be referred to as rapid prototyping, where companies were able to use it, for instance, to visualize the shape of the component or a component they're about to make. But then during the last 10 years the technology has evolved from the prototyping level to the manufacturing level, specifically when it started to move from plastics to metallic materials. My interest specifically is in the field of high-value additive manufacturing, meaning that we use additive manufacturing to produce components for aeroplanes or for cars.
This year marks the 400th anniversary of the first permanent English settlement in America. A group of Englishmen, including John Smith, who later was befriended by Pocahontas, built a fort at Jamestown, Virginia in 1607, 13 years before the Pilgrims crossed the Atlantic, on the Mayflower. And for the past 14 years, Bill Kelso has been working to uncover the secrets of Jamestown.
But how do you tell apart the different hands that have been working? Well, of course, the fact that the hands look so similar was intentional. The scriptorium wanted a professional-looking work and they didn't want a lot of individuality in the script. So, the primary objective of the originals, writing in this manuscript, was to make it look identical. As a matter of fact, because scribes are different people and they have different hand-eye coordination and different merchandise, they ended up producing something that was slightly different, which is not easy to tell to someone who hasn't been staring at the manuscript for a while. The ocean has been getting bluer, according to a study published in the journal Nature. But that's not really good news for the planet. It means that the plants that tin the ocean reunion aren't doing so well. Scientists say that's because the ocean has been getting overseas.
Perhaps you've seen pictures of the large array of, those radio telescopes in New Mexico, scanning the skies for intelligent life in the movie Contact. Well, radiant astronomers have cause to celebrate the first phase of a giant new radio telescope array went operational in Northern California. It's going to help astronomers study things like black holes and dark galaxies, all the while scanning the stars for, who knows, radio signals coming from somewhere else in the universe. Maybe ET is phoning home.